Hey everyone, Alex here from Japanese Masters, and today we are going to go over Lesson 2, Part 6 of Minna No Nihongo. That is no substituting for a noun. Okay, let's go ahead and dive right on into this. Okay, as you can see here, we have our no substituting for a noun. And this might look very complicated at first, but I can assure you it is quite simple. Let's start by discussing what this really translates to in English. Well, in English, we have several ways to shorten a sentence while speaking, and this can be for sentences like John's watch can just be shortened to John's, or something like the red watch can be just shortened to the red one. These are used a lot in English, more colloquial than they are written, but it's definitely something you're going to see all the time in Japanese as well. This will make a lot more sense, though, when we start breaking it down. Let's go ahead and dive right on into breaking down this structure so that you understand what I'm talking about. So our first two sentences we have are kore wa John no pen desu and kore wa John no desu. If we translate those to English, we have something like this is John's pen or just this is John's, which it might sound a little bit strange by itself. That's because we have no context before this, but usually this would come after a sentence where the noun is already known. For example, in English, someone might say, "Is that Bob's book bag over there?" You'd be like, "Ah, no, that's John's." You don't have to say that's John's book bag. That kind of sounds a little bit redundant. Well, the same thing works in Japanese. You don't have to keep saying John no pen every single sentence. You can just shorten it to John no after the subject or the pen is known. However, this can only be used to shorten something like a possessive sentence or to change something into one. You cannot do it when the noun one, no noun two structure makes a complete noun in itself. Let's go over an example where that would happen. With these two sentences, we have kore wa computer no kaisha desu, which we're trying to shorten to kore wa computer no desu. And this does not work. In English, this would be this is the company about computers, or this is the computer company. However, if you shortened it, it would be this is the company about, you don't really know. You can't shorten it. The phrase computer no kaisha is a set phrase by itself. You can't really adjust any part of it without losing the meaning of the sentence. However, with John's pen, the John plus the no obviously is going to be a possessive. You know that it's going to be John's something, and you can use context to figure that out. With this one, however, if you just keep using computer no, the kaisha is very important. Leaving that out just doesn't work because the two phrases need to be together in order to make sense. Okay, let's go through a couple of examples to solidify your understanding of this. Okay, the first one is, I am looking for Hidejis. The sentence is, Hideji-san no o sagashite imasu. Okay, the first thing I want to break down here is our sagashite imasu. Sagasu is the dictionary form of this verb, which means to search for. It's currently in the present progressive form, which if you haven't studied that yet, that just means the ing form, so the person is currently doing that. So they are currently looking for something. And then we have our O particle. This is the object marking particle, which if we did have a noun here, that would show the listener exactly what we're looking for. And then now we have our actual structure. So this sentence by itself probably couldn't stand alone. There would probably be a sentence before that, maybe like before someone is asking, are you looking for John's computer? You can be like, no, I'm looking for Hideji's. So you've changed the subject real quick. The person still obviously knows that you're looking for a computer because you didn't specify a new object, but you did change whose computer you're looking for, which is when you can use this sentence structure. So we have our Hideji-san, which of course our san is going to be the polite suffix for a name, so just a way to make it sound kind of like Mr. Hideji. And then Hideji, of course, is just a name in Japanese. And then we have our no. And then in between the no and the o, there is nothing. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to our final example. The final one is, there is a red one in the pond. Ike no naka ni akai no ga imasu. Okay, the first thing that I want to go over here is our ga imasu. Imasu means to exist. You've probably seen arimasu or aru. That also means to exist. Both these verbs have identical meanings, except imasu is used with living things. So like, if you were talking about this, that would mean the red one would be something living, so probably like a fish or something. And then we have our ike, which means pond. And then no nakamni means inside of or under or something like that. So in this case, you're talking about inside the pond. And then you have our kaino. This is where the structure replaces the noun instead of just kind of shortens it. So instead of our noun here, we've just replaced the whole thing with no to kind of make the translation to one in English. This could be anything before. Like I said, there would have to be context before for people to know what you're talking about. So this could probably be something like koi, like fish, or something like that. That was just shortened to red ones. You can use this if you need to shorten a whole bunch of things. Like if someone says that they're koi in the pond, you can be like, oh yeah, there are koi in the pond. We have red ones, we have blue ones, we have green ones, stuff like that. You don't need to keep saying we have red koi, we have blue koi, we have green koi. Just like in English, it sounds redundant and it doesn't flow very well. So the same thing in Japanese. You just shorten that koi to just no. And then of course, arakai just means red in Japanese, and it is an adjective. Okay, other than that, that is the end of today's lesson. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer them. If you have any criticisms at all, also put that in the comments below. I'd be happy to address those. Until next lesson, guys, keep studying Japanese. All right, everyone, see ya.